Hey guys! Here's a question that's been debated for centuries: did the chicken come first, or the egg? It's one of those questions that sounds simple but is actually a mix of biology, evolution, and a little bit of philosophy. So, let's break it down. First, we need to understand what we mean by a chicken egg. Are we talking about any egg, or specifically an egg that would hatch into a chicken? That distinction is really important. Long before chickens existed, birds that looked a lot like chickens were already around. And even before birds, there were reptiles and other animals laying eggs. In fact, the first hard-shelled eggs, called amniotic eggs, appeared roughly 340 million years ago. These eggs were a huge evolutionary step because they allowed animals to reproduce on land without needing water. Now, let's talk chickens. The first true chicken didn't just appear out of nowhere. It evolved slowly through small genetic changes over generations. At some point, a bird very similar to a chicken, what we could call a proto-chicken, laid an egg. And inside that egg, due to a mutation in its DNA, hatched the very first true chicken. So, in terms of evolutionary history, eggs existed millions of years before the first chicken even came along. Dinosaurs, early reptiles, and countless other creatures were laying eggs long before chickens ever existed. But here's the twist. If we define a chicken egg as an egg laid by a true chicken, then technically the first chicken came before the first chicken egg. How? Because the first chicken came out of an egg laid by a bird that wasn't fully a chicken yet. That egg contained the exact mutation that created the first true chicken. From a scientific perspective, eggs predate chickens. From a very strict definition, the hen came first. It all depends on how you define a chicken egg. You could compare it to a software update. Imagine you have version 1.0 of a bird, and then a tiny change occurs in the next version inside an egg. That tiny change, like a genetic update, produces version 2.0, the first true chicken. Without the egg as the container for mutation, the first chicken couldn't exist. Conclusion. So, what came first? Eggs have been around for millions of years, but the very first true chicken hatched from an egg laid by its almost chicken ancestor. In the end, it all comes down to perspective. Do you count the egg as any egg, or only a chicken egg? Either way, evolution has the answer, even if it doesn't give us a simple yes or no. That's it for today. Next time someone asks you whether the chicken or the egg came first, you'll know the full story, packed with history, evolution, and a little bit of mutation magic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.